Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. So according to Microsoft, if we have a look at Microsoft's Digital Defense Report of 2024, Microsoft says that its customers face more than 600 million cybercriminal and nation-state attacks every day, ranging from ransomware to phishing to identity attacks. So just another quick video to discuss how you can avoid common threats that can compromise your Windows operating system and to some degree or the other your web browsers that you use as well. Because at the end of the day, your PC is basically a potential doorway for hackers and bad actors to gain entrance through. So just a couple of things to look out for and some things you can do to try and avoid your system being compromised. Now, first of all, a big one is phishing and social engineering, where messages can be sent that look real. So as an example, you could get an email from Microsoft, but if you look closely at the web address, it's actually slightly different to a legitimate Microsoft email or website. And other examples of phishing could be fake shipping updates or password reset links that you can see pop up in your inbox that are designed to get you to click before you think. So basically with phishing, it's knowing what to look for, because there can be subtle differences in web addresses and emails. So never trust an email attachment, which is a big one, unless you are sure who sent it. And another one is to prevent this is to turn on two-factor authentication everywhere where you can turn on two-factor authentication, and keep your system and your browser fully patched and up to date. As you've heard me say thousands of times on this channel, make sure your browser is fully patched and up to date, because your browser is your first line of defense in regards to phishing attacks, in my personal opinion. And while we are talking about phishing, unrelated really to Windows or your browser is, as an example, if you get a call from your bank or credit card company that seems strange, what you can also do is you can hang up and call them back on a phone line that you know is legitimate. So to avoid getting scammed. So that's the first one, phishing. And here's a big one you may have heard me talk about quite a lot on the channel. And that's pirated software and dodgy websites, where cracked apps can introduce things like spyware, adware, or hidden backdoors that can run quietly in the background without you even knowing it, once you try to install a cracked app or a cracked operating system or software and so on. So what I would suggest is only installing software and apps directly from the developer's website or a verified store like the Microsoft Store or the Google Play Store as an example. Because these file sharing sites and your free download hubs online often come with malicious ads that look very real and very legitimate. So stay away from pirated software and dodgy websites. And also, before you install any software, just scan new downloads before running them with Microsoft Defender if you are running Windows, or if you're running a third-party antivirus. Just scan that actual download before running it, which could prevent a whole lot of problems at the end of the day. So pirated software, as mentioned, and dodgy websites are a big one that you need to avoid. And then another one is unpatched or unsupported hardware. So if you are using Windows every day online, or certain apps and software every day, then I would recommend make sure that they are fully patched and up to date, be that your web browser, Windows, apps, software, and so on, because they can become an easy target if not updated or are running unsupported, especially if you're running that app or that system online. Because what can happen here is that not being fully patched and up to date, especially if you're running your system online and connected to the internet can open the door for ransomware or remote code execution exploits that can take advantage of the old code that hasn't been updated. And this can also apply to browser extensions. So only download extensions, as far as I'm concerned, that are verified through legitimate add-on stores like the Chrome Web Store or Edge add-ons that have been verified or are featured extensions and so on. So basically, at the end of the day, keep automatic updates enabled where you can, and uninstall apps and software that you don't use. Because the more apps on your system means there are potential more doorways to get access to your system. And then the last one, just to mention for this video, is something called Malvertising, where attackers can buy ad space and disguise their payload as normal campaigns on certain websites. So basically, Malvertising hides inside legitimate looking ads on dodgy streaming or download sites, which can then redirect your browser to a page that installs malware, adware, or harvest data in the background. And a good way to prevent malvertising is just to simply use an ad blocker like uBlock Origin, or if you are running Brave as an example, Brave Shields is very good. And also enabling your browser's built-in tracking prevention, which is another thing you can try to avoid malvertising. And keep your extensions up to date and fully patched and up to date. Do not run old extensions, because extensions are a big one if they are not fully patched and up to date to get access to your system. So basically, guys, that's just a couple of so-called threats to look out for, and one or two things you can do to avoid that in case you're unaware. So at the end of the day, keep your tools and your apps and your software and your browsers that you use every day fully patched and up to date, and question what doesn't feel right. I think, and as I say on the channel, good computing habits, using your common sense and staying away from dodgy websites are a big one in regards to avoiding threats that can compromise your system. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.